Coming up tonight on YCN News, new ski trail development may happen at Mount Sunapee due to a court ruling. Lebanon city councilors will learn more about I-89 bridge work in town. And a 14-year-old boy is injured in an ATV rollover in Henniker, New Hampshire. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Development of new trails at Mount Sunapee Ski Resort may be moving ahead now that a New Hampshire Superior Court judge has ruled in the resort's favor. Still, it remains unknown if state government leaders will appeal the July 11th ruling of Merrimack County Superior Court Judge Larry Smuckler allowing enlargement of the resort. The case dates to 1998, when the state leased to a private entity one of its two state-supported mountain resorts, one being Mount Sunapee, the other Cannon Mountain in Franconia. Cannon Mountain remains state-owned. Known as the West Bowl, this area would be the final build-out for the ski resort. In 2009, records estimated taking the West Bowl build-out from plan to completion would cost about $8 million. The West Bowl land spans 656 acres, the website NewEnglandSkiHistory.com notes. A plan to help southeastern Vermont reinvent itself once nuclear power plant Vermont Yankee is shut down and decommissioned is taking shape. Rockingham, Vermont Development Director Dutch Walsh tells YCN News that $10 million has been earmarked for the economic development of Windham County. This would bring loans through the Vermont Economic Development Authority, and the Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Board will plan how the payment can be used so that it is worthwhile for businesses. Walsh says money doesn't create jobs, but the right product coming in does. Right now, these groups will continue to move forward to meet about making changes so the plan will match the needs of the businesses in Windham County. Walsh believes the state will most likely be involved in this, which will require them to watch and notice any sort of change or meetings around the $10 million Windham received. Many people will have their eyes on it, so the state of Vermont will be under a microscope throughout this process. It's not every day that a city or town turns 250 years old, but that's exactly what the Sullivan County town of Unity did this weekend. Let's learn more from YCN's Lisa Connell.
Unity put on a birthday party for itself over the weekend, a party that featured landscapes old and new. As the town moves to completion of its 21st century elementary school, recognition of its founding in 1764 took center stage this weekend. Residents and visitors gathered under white tents to enjoy a picnic lunch, while children had fun just being kids on a summer day. Some adults showed off their dance moves to the tunes of JJ's music. Sunday, July 13th, marked the actual date this community was named a township by English leaders. On July 13th, 1764, the land grant was given to Timothy Goodwin and others, historical documents note. Fast forward 250 years, and Sunday's visitors were treated to student essays about Unity's history, a lecture on Unity's establishment in Sullivan County from colonial history expert Dr. Jerry Dannell, and thanks given to all who helped plan the town's birthday party. Residents Jenny Wright and Ian Lutters demonstrated shape note music to the audience gathered in Town Hall. Shape note music taught colonial settlers how to sing without having to learn to read sheet music. Senior Pastor David Crosby, a Colorado native now of Claremont, gave a blessing to the town and its residents, in tradition with Unity's Town Hall being first built as a Baptist meeting house. Crosby represents Grace River Church, formerly the First Baptist Church in Claremont. It wouldn't be a birthday party without cake, and that's how the afternoon was celebrated, as residents young and less young lined up for a sweet treat. Happy birthday, Unity, New Hampshire. Congratulations on reaching your 250th anniversary. For YCN News, I'm Lisa Connell.
There's more to see and do in Unity the weekend of July 26th. That's when the town will celebrate its annual Old Home Day event. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. In Upper Valley news, the Lebanon City Council meeting agenda for tomorrow night includes a presentation by New Hampshire state transportation officials on an upcoming bridge project. Details by the DOT are expected to include widening of the I-89 bridge over the Connecticut River between West Lebanon and White River Junction, Vermont, and the widening of the I-89 bridge over Hardy Hill in Lebanon. The meeting begins at 7 p.m. in Lebanon City Hall. A public hearing also is set for tomorrow night's Lebanon City Council meeting regarding making Dulac a one-way street. Residents are encouraged to attend the meeting to give councilors their opinions on reclassifying the street. Dulac Street runs off Mascoma Street and is near Mascoma Street or Route 4. A crash in Henniker, New Hampshire Monday afternoon resulted in injuries to a 14-year-old young man. The teenager is not being identified by name, but state fish and game officers and Henniker police say a helmet found at the scene of the off-highway recreational vehicle was not on his head or not properly fastened. First responders were called to Quaker Street to investigate the crash, which caused the teen's ATV to roll over on the pavement and into a ditch. The young man was alone on the ATV, which wasn't registered as required. He lost control of the motorbike, possibly due to speed, police report. Quaker Street, say police, is a public way and is not open to ATV use. The teen was taken to Concord Hospital, where he was treated for a head injury. The crash remains under investigation, say police. A 51-year-old Salisbury, New Hampshire man was arrested today on charges of growing 30 marijuana plants on his home property. Albert Hill of 146 Warner Road was taken into custody by state troopers following a 5-month investigation. Hill's arrest comes after a search warrant allowed police to search the rear of the Warner Road property. 3 firearms and ammunition also were seized by police. Hill is charged with manufacturing the controlled drug marijuana. He remains free on $2,500 personal recognizance bail. Hill is scheduled to be arraigned on the charges on October 21st in Franklin District Court. An early evening trip by 3 men thought to be missing Monday ended happily when police found the trio. 20-year-old David Bolash of Grafton, New Hampshire, 48-year-old William Temple of Post Mills, Vermont, and 29-year-old Kevin Hebert of Weir, New Hampshire, were reported missing to police at 4:40 p.m. Monday. Police headed to Sumner Falls off Route 5 in Heartland, Vermont to investigate. Temple and Hebert had taken Bolash, who suffers from autism, to the falls to go fishing. Police learned that when it was time to leave, 20-year-old Bolash jumped into the water. The swift current started to carry Bolash downstream. Temple and Hebert jumped into water after the young man. All 3 were seen being carried away by the current. Vermont first responders, Heartland Fire Department, and Hartford Swiftwater Rescue Squad were called to the scene to assist. After a short amount of time, all 3 men were safely rescued. No one was seriously injured, report police. Neighboring fire departments from Plainfield and Cornish, New Hampshire, plus the Windsor Fire Department assisted. Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now, Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we have an 80% chance of showers and a possible thunderstorm before 11 p.m. with rain continuing to 2 a.m. Patchy fog is expected after 2 a.m. with lows in the 60s and winds around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow we will have showers before 10 a.m. and a possible storm after. Patchy fog is expected before 9 a.m. with otherwise cloudy skies and a high of 81 degrees. Tomorrow night we have a 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms before 9 p.m. Patchy fog will set in after 3 a.m. with calm winds and lows in the 50s. Thursday will have fog before 9 a.m. with otherwise sunny skies and highs in the 80s. Thursday night will be clear with a low of 52 degrees. There is a flash flood warning in our area for a few days. Please be careful when driving and avoid traveling when possible. You can see the storms approaching on our satellite map. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in Woodstock, Vermont, the Market on the Green will begin at 3 p.m. In White River Junction, Craig Bickard will perform in Lyman Point Park at 6:30 p.m. In Sunapee, New Hampshire, Mo Combo will perform on the Ben Muir Bandstand at 7 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's turn to sports and the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. We have some results from last night's game. Unfortunately, the Fisher Cats were overcome by Portland in a 2-6 defeat. This was a disappointing 4-game series with Portland, as they lost all 4 games. Today is their day off. Wednesday is the Big West versus East game.